I'm going to tell you who it is. I just got a text message. Listen to this. This is interesting. Chris, I am no Patriot fan by any stretch, but this Guerrero guy is a total quack. A few years ago, he was selling, quote-unquote, a special water that he claimed prevented concussions, reprimanded by the FDA. And more recently, he was telling Pats players that he could do more for them than the Pats training staff. There we go. Now, ask, and you will get answers. This is Mad Dog Unleashed, of course, on the great SiriusXM. The whole world listens. There you go. Boom. So that explains it. Good job. I'm not going to have the person who sent me that. Good job to you. So we get that. I'm not going to tell you who it was. That's not for him. It's not that, it's somebody who has been here been on a lot. He's a great guy. So there you go. Or gal. So from that standpoint, you get the idea about Guerrero. So there you have it. So Zach Randolph, I just upped it to $100. Be fair. So yeah, but it has to be on a regular line, 20 minutes, and he's and engaged. So I don't want to hear him, basically, walk on a treadmill doing an interview. I want him engaged. Chris, good to be on. I've heard a lot about you. Let's go. That's the kind of start I want. If we get that from Zach before the end of the year, Eddie Erickson gets a $100, and he just paid me the $50 he owed me from the over of Texas A&M and Mississippi State, which did not work on a Saturday in Houston after Game 4 of the World Series. But he gets that $100 in cash if that occurs. And Grant gets a dinner. Grant went to Carmine's today, and Grant will get another Carmine's dinner from yours truly if that's the case. So there you have it on a busy afternoon. Here's Max in Memphis, and he's the boy. Speaking of Memphis and Zach Randolph, Max says hello, and he's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Max, good afternoon.
Everybody alive out there, Doggy?
I haven't heard from Max in a long time. Nice to talk again, Max. How are you today? Okay, pal?
Doggy, I'm going to confess, I'm one of those Francesa refugees. And you talk about a life raft. We are going to need a battleship and an aircraft carrier to fit all the refugees coming to Sirius Satellite.
I like that line. We're going to call, I'm a refugee. Give me that Tom Petty song. I'm a refugee. That's what we're going to start playing. I'm a refugee. Every time I hear the Mike crew zip it over here, give them a little theme of that there, Colin. Stop worrying about the 46-minute interview that Cohen did with Julian Edelman trying to edit it so you can get out of here at normal time tonight. That's a good one, Max. We will work on that. Here we go.
One little nugget, Dog.
Hold on, we'll give you a chance. Let's hear a little refugee. It's our new theme now when we have some laughs. Go ahead. What's on your mind today?
I love it, baby. Doggy, one little nugget. Maggie and Bart did not know what Mohegan Sun was today. Good luck at the local market, folks. Say something, buddy.
Say something. Listen, Mohegan Sun, you can't kill him on that. I'm surprised.
Oh, you dog.
Here's what I am surprised about. I'm surprised Bart knew the New York Yankees. That shocked me. No, I shouldn't say that. I'm kidding. Don't write that. I'm kidding.
I can't wait to see Bart out of the remote for the Staten Island Yankees. That's funny. Hey, Doggy.
Yes, Max. Yes, Max.
Listen, Jeter is so far out of his depth with this team. It's outrageous. I mean, that you're arguing with Marlins, man. The bloom is off the rose for old Jeets. And I'm kind of glad to see it, It's,
well, Jeter is in the other end he's on the other end now. I mean, Jeter is taking the hits. I mean, he's on the other end of this. He can't give you the very elusive remark that doesn't mean anything and walk away and be accommodating and talk about his base hit in the right field. Now he's got to be a little more specific. The one thing that Jeter said, and I like Jeter, you guys know that, but the one thing that Jeter said yesterday that I thought was out of line in his town hall thing, somebody asked him a question, Bob from Boynton Beach. Bob raised his hand. Jeter took the call. Yeah, Bob, go ahead. And Bob said, Derek, why did you fire Rich Waltz, who's the longtime play-by-play voice of the Marlins? And Jeter said, that wasn't us. That was Fox. Now, hold on now. What do you mean it wasn't you? I mean, you're the Marlins. It's your team. You have say about who the broadcaster is. Don't do that. Don't pass the buck. And plus the fact, Waltz is still doing Big East basketball on FS1. So let me get this straight. He can do Villanova Creighton, but he can't do Marlin baseball? I mean, that was out of line. That bothered me. So you're not going to convince me that somehow, some way, Fox, against Derek Jeter's wishes, that Fox fired Rich Waltz and the Marlins wanted Rich Waltz to stay. That one you're not. And Waltz is a good play-by-play guy, too. Here's Andy, and he's in Seattle, and he's with us here on Mad Dog Unleashed. Andrew, welcome. How are you today, pal?
Hey, pretty good, Doggy. Hey, if you do get Randolph, make sure he's not hitting the marijuana. I think that's the only thing that he's ever really been in trouble for. But yeah,
I think you're right. Well, listen, he wouldn't be the only NBA player. I guarantee you that, or talk show host. I might add. No, not anymore. As far as Randolph, I'm in a goofy mood. It's getting near Christmas. What the hell? That is it. I am so impressed with Zach Randolph in these interviews, and then Grant tells me he's the greatest guy in the world. So here is a guy that we must get on the air. We'll figure it out. Before the end of the year, Grant and Eddie, well, Grant will get him, and then he will get the $100. We'll get him on here on a nice day for 40 minutes in the middle of February, and he'll do a nice job. Go ahead. You may continue.
Sounds good. Hey, I'm not a big throw cold water on the face type of guy, but I've heard you talk about the NFL, and they might have some problems in the playoffs, and but we'll all watch anyway. I mean, you can't really avoid it. But here's what I'll say about the NFC. With the top 3 seeds potentially being Minnie, L.A., and Philly, you've got unproven quarterbacks. And a lot of people this year had the problem watching the NFL this year because all of these household quarterbacks are starting to drop like flies, whether they're getting old or injured, whatever the case may be. And now if the NFC conference has these quarterbacks that have really never done it on the big stage before, and you got no Rodgers, no Wilson, no Stafford, now we're digging deep here.
I get it. I think you're making an excellent point. I mean, Case Keenum and, Nick Foles in the NFC Championship game, forget Goff. Goff, he'd be fun to watch. But Keenum and Foles in an NFC Championship game would be concerning. I agree with that. Go ahead. What else do you have for me?
I also had an AFC point. Recently, a lot of the experts, quote-unquote experts on ESPN and whatnot, they say Jacksonville is this perfect team to beat New England because of their defense scenario. Like in the past, though, the blueprint for the Patriots, you always outscore them. Try to outscore them. If you score 40, you might have a chance. And remember the last time the team tried to play defense and tempo,
the only team that's been
drive,
able to, the Chiefs
tried to do it,
well,
and
the
they
Giants.
didn't do it very well.
But the Giants have been successful against them playing conservative football. The Giants didn't score a ton of points in either one of the 2 games and still won, and that might be where it's coming from because of Coughlin, who engineered those 2 giant wins against New England where they stopped Brady and won 17 in the first game. They probably scored about 23 or 4 in the second game. Steve Torre is in the house today. Did you hear me talk about Zach Randolph?
Yes, I did.
So we're gonna get that. That's my new deal now. I got it.
You're into him, huh?
Steve, I swear to God, you'll be amazed.
Did you always feel this way about him, or just influenced by what you saw last night?
All year. Now I have, I didn't follow Memphis. I can't. The guy's the nicest guy in the world. Now I asked Grant about it, and Grant says he's the greatest teammate.
Oh, that's good. I thought Grant was coming in today.
We couldn't get him. He is 5:30 bus.
Oh,
so we couldn't get him in. He's at Carmine's. Got to give Grant a little break.
Understood.
And they're staying at Battery Park to get to Brooklyn, so it's not easy to get. Yeah, it's tricky.
And are they
flying right out after the game?
Oh, they are. Where's their next stop?
They play home Saturday against the Spurs. You should know that. You're the one. You bet him for crying out loud.
I heard you say that too. Yes, of course.
Oh, of course you did, Steve. Don't come on now. Be honest with the audience.
Yeah, Lord knows. Yeah, I am being honest with the audience.
No, you didn't, Steve. You bet.
They would know. Why would Steve Torre have anything to do with the Sacramento Kings?
Because you're looking to get yourself into it in the middle of the wintertime.
I would have done something else to keep me into it. Why would I follow?
Well, you did. You did the Wild and the hockey too.
Oh, I did.
Yes.
Am I winning?
Yeah, you got a chance.
Oh, good.
You got a chance.
And what's? I'll play along. What's my Kings number?
27.5.
27.5. They got about what? 11 wins.
10 and 20.
Yeah. Well, what does Grant think?
He doesn't like him. He doesn't think that guy. Anyway, make a long story short.
Yeah.
Did we need 46 minutes with Julian Edelman for the best of scenario? Poor Colin here during the show, of course. You don't think he's going to do it at 6. Poor Colin here editing the show right now and not concentrating. Did we need...
I guess it turned into a love fest and he couldn't stop.
Oh, my God. Evan, the idea is 10, 12 minutes and get out. And by the way...
Now, maybe that was bad direction on Bill Zimmerman's part,
maybe.
The architect of this program.
And that wasn't exactly ideal out of you either. You took Jeff Luhnow a long time as well, breaking down how the Astros were built
I have to be honest with you. I didn't even realize it was that long. And Bill was in studio with me, and I kept looking at him, and I'm like, "What do you think?" He's like, he's giving me the thumbs up, like it's a good interview. And I said, "All right, I'll keep going."
A little more than 20 minutes, Steve. It's a 3-hour show, 7, and then I did Francona, and Colin said that is the way you do an interview. 22-game winning streak. How long was Francona? 11 minutes? 10 minutes? 12 minutes. That's the way you do it, Steve. See?
Well, that's why you're a Marconi winner.
That's the way you do these little special things.
And borderline Hall of Fame. And that's why I am where I am.
Oh, yeah. Come on now.
So it's simple.
You are one of the greatest guys we've ever had. Thank God you're here.
That's
anyway, everything else, how you feel today? Who's Indiana's now? What is Indiana in the Big Ten?
1-1.
They lost to
Michigan and beat Iowa.
When's the next Big Ten game?
Right at the end of the year. I think they go to Wisconsin first, which is winnable. Wisconsin's down this year, but it's on the road, and then they have to go to Minnesota, which will be a loss.
Okay, so they have 2 games in a row on the road.
The Big Ten, Penn State's better, Purdue's good, Minnesota's good, Michigan State, obviously, Michigan's still pretty good, great coach. Yeah, they're going to have a rough year. They'll be lucky, very lucky to make the tournament. They probably won't.
17 threes? How come you didn't tell me that by Fort Wayne on Monday night?
I did tell you that.
Not 17 threes.
You were running to the MLB studio.
17 threes, my God.
It was the exact same result from Indiana State. Indiana State had 17 threes in the first game of the year.
Get your hand up, please. And New Canaan, speaking of threes, New Canaan's basketball team, Danny Melzer, won its first game of the year last night. First time since 2009.
Wow.
First time since 2009 that they won their first game of the season. Last night they won by 22. On the road.
When was the last time they won by that much?
Not since I've been there. I'll tell you that.
I mean, geez.
79-57. They scored almost 80 points. So they won, and they are going to be good in 2 years.
Would you still categorize them as a rebuild?
Yes. Right. They got a bunch of sophomores.
Do they have a chance to make postseason play?
And then you only need 8 wins. I think that's possible.
To qualify for the state tournament?
Yes, I think that's possible. Danny's done a nice job.
Well, they're on their way. They need 7 more.
Right. So nice job.
Congratulations.
79-57 on the road in Waterbury.
Good for them.
Now, how things going with you? And you look quiet today. Everything all right?
I look quiet. I'm here. How do I sound? Do I sound quiet?
Are you going to be here to 3 o'clock in the morning again, or are you going to actually get out of here at a decent hour tonight?
I don't think 3, but I got a lot to do.
Oh, you do? Well, what do you have to do, Steve? That's important.
There's a lot of stuff I can't share with you, Chris. There's a lot of off-the-air internal things I got to take care of.
What are you, preparing my farewell party? What are you doing here?
No, that's not. A couple of years.
A couple more than that. Hopefully, when Barstool comes, I'm out. I understand that. That's what you said. Yes, you did.
I didn't say you would be out.
Yes, you did. You said when Barstool comes, you're gone. You're hanging here until then. You'll be in good shape.
I think after I told you about Barstool coming, which the company's excited about, we all are, you said something to the effect of, oh, maybe that'll be it. That was it. I didn't say you should go.
And you said, yeah, you didn't say it. I did. Anyway, everything on The Refugee. That's the new song now for the refugees who have come over from the Mike Francesa show.
Oh, well, good. We welcome them aboard.
And maybe you'll get a couple of straggler-ons as well.
Can't hurt. Come on, baby. Come on. The ship may be sinking, but come on board anyway.
Get a couple of phone calls and get away from Jeff Fisher. How's that?
That was good. It was a good topic there.
Anything else under control?
I think everything's under control.
Anything going on in sports I need to know about? Longoria gets traded, right?
That's correct. Zach Britton has a boy. That's terrible, huh? Ruptured Achilles.
Yeah, it's only going to be 4 or 5 months. I heard, not 6.
4 to 6. They're saying.
So it is December, January, February, March. It's 3 months. April. I mean, he won't pitch probably until the All-Star break. It may not be as bad as you think.
That's a big trading chip that's no longer available.
That's fair too. Yes, you may continue.
Leonard Fournette back at practice today with the quad injury. He's going to play Sunday. He's
a guy who doesn't play a lot of games. That should not be a surprise. You may continue.
College bowl game tonight, the Frisco Bowl. Are you interested? Louisiana Tech and SMU combined record of 13-12.
These games are impossible to watch. Go ahead.
Rockets going for 15 in a row playing the Lakers tonight.
I'm glad you brought them up.
Sure.
Here's when I'll take the Rockets seriously. When I see them play with energy, effort, and not have that dejected, I'm out of it look like they did last year against San Antonio in a postseason series in a big spot. Because every time they play a good team in a postseason, Golden State has taken their will away. And the Spurs did last year. What was that Game 6 final? Could you look that up for me, please, Eddie? Last year, Spurs and the Rockets in Houston. I believe it may have been a 105-66.
Oh, they got destroyed.
And Harden scored 6 points. That team is soft when it comes to a big spot. You may continue.
And then a lawsuit was filed in California today by the lawyer of a former U.S. gymnast.
Do I have to hear this? Okay.
You heard about this, right?
I heard it, yeah.
U.S. gymnast struck a deal to keep the sexual abuse that she suffered at the hands of a former team doctor quiet.
And I guess this Alex Guerrero is a quack with the great.
You got some sources that are telling you that?
Yes. Did you hear me read that?
I heard that. Yes, I did.
So that they drink this special drink and you won't get concussions. That's a quack. That's the definition. 114-75 was the final. That is the definition of a quack.
Well, I mean,
how many points for Harden? 10 points.
Don't you? Okay, good for James. Don't you trust Tom Brady? I mean, he seems to be going along quite nicely with this guy's advice and his tutelage.
No, I don't.
I mean, he's going to be 45 winning Super Bowls. Maybe there's a method there.
There might be something to it. Anything else?
That's it.
Bob from Boynton Beach telling Derek Jeter, Derek, how come you fired Rich Waltz? And he says it was Fox. Are you kidding me now? The Marlins
Passing the buck, Derek?
Oh, come on. The Marlins now, they don't control who the broadcasters are?
Maybe there's something in the contract that says Fox has the final say. Yeah, right. That's terrible.
And then
I didn't hear that. The other stuff, I actually thought Derek handled himself pretty well.
Oh, he did?
I thought so. I mean, I know you say it's because I'm a Yankee fan and all this other stuff.
I didn't hear it, so you tell me.
Well, there was no audio, but, stuff what we were reading, and we had a guy on today who was he was a TV anchor down there who was there, and he said, look, I can understand why every fan that came up, why you wouldn't trust me. I mean, I get it. I mean, why would you? I don't have a lot of experience, and, we've been in a bad situation, and ownership here is, we've been up and down and rebuild and tear it down and bring it back up, but the thing is, it's 5 years. It's going to take a long time. I mean, it's easy to say a 5-year plan for the Astros that had at least some parts in place. You know what I mean? They drafted Correa. They had a horrible farm system. I mean, they're terrible prospects, the Marlins. No revenue. No TV revenue.
I think the biggest issue the Marlins have, the Astros have been there since '62. You knew if they were good, the fans would be there. They had the ballpark.
Right.
The Marlins don't have any fans.
No fan base.
So they might do it right and then have 12,000 for a playoff game.
Very true.
It's
a very hard question to answer whether or not it's going to matter.
Exactly. That's the point. Good job, Steve. We'll talk to you later. We'll take a time out here on Mad Dog Unleashed. We're back after this.